I used to have a little theme song that I played. Do 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 do. Haters be hating. That's what they do. That's the only thing they're good at. I don't understand how anyone could hate you. You're so cool. Every time I'm on your live and you're like, Betty McKnit's here, the queen. Like, yeah. I don't feel like a queen, but it always makes me feel good when you say that. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm live in all the places. So let's see. People come out and crochet with me tonight. I'm going to be working on, I have like a really ambitious goal for the month of September. And, you know, they do this Stash Bust September thing. And so I have had this like stashed project for like a year, and TikTok actually even shamed me about it at one point. It came up with these memories, and it was like this superstar blanket that I had started, and then I decided I didn't like it, but I had bought all those Caron Ogos when they went on clearance for them, and I have so many. And I posted like this really long video about how I came to have all those Ogos in my possession, and it started with that superstar blanket. I had these two different, I don't remember the names of them, but I had these two different ones. They had like pinks and burgundies and purples, and they matched this wallpaper that my friend has. I was trying to make a blanket to match that. And then I stupidly put this one little bit of sage green in it, and I really liked it. And then I was like, oh, now I gotta get more of that. And it was in the blue, a totally different Ogo. So I was buying up all these Ogos just to get that one little piece of the sage green out of them. So that's when I ended up with all these, like, these blues and the grays and greens, and they're all like the colors that were left over from the Ogos. Hi, Pat Jacobs said, I pulled out my star blanket today from the original Crochet Along so many years ago. Oh man, I think that was 2019 when I first released it. That's crazy. And when you said you pulled it out, I thought you meant you ripped it out. You ripped it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get right to it. I'm going to work on this, and then we'll see how I do. It's already 7:49. I was trying to get on here a little bit earlier, but I have to move my chair. I live in a beach tourist community, and some of the houses around me, I live here full time. But some of the houses around me, I haven't met the owners. You know, they own these beach houses and then they rent them out. And there's this one particular house. I've been trying to meet that owner for like 2 years. And I finally saw him out there tonight right before they came on live. And oh my gosh, they're really nice. So, anyways, that's why I'm a little later. So why was I talking about that? Oh, because I just want to, I wanted to be here earlier, but I wasn't. But I'm here now. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to put this up here. Sorry, going so fast. And I'm going to crochet like that. I'm going to crochet like that. I'm going to crochet like this. I'm going to crochet like that. Okay, here we go. It was stashed away. You found it when you were looking for yarn to start a new star blanket. Bad Bitch Crochet says, what hooks do you use? I exclusively use Furls Odyssey hooks. They are my favorite hook. Sadly, the company has been like extremely, I mean, sadly, the hooks are very hard to get. The reason is because the company has been extremely successful. So, um, yeah, that's they sell out like all the time. They're very hard to get, but I have a bunch. They've kind of changed their style over the years too. But I have a little collection. I have pretty much all the sizes. Pat Jacobs says, so now I'm working on 2-star blankets. I have three. Well, I only have this one started, but I'm trying to do 3: the star, the superstar, and the supernova in September, and use up all the Ogos that I have. Okay, this is the star, the 6-day star. So I am going to leave. I'm going to leave a marker here because I want to remember where I like started day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. So just going to leave that here. And then take this one out. This is marking my first stitch. And then I don't remember what row this is. Must be row 4, round 4. Now round 4, you're supposed to slip stitch and then chain up and then single crochet in the same stitch, and that makes all these extra loops that confuse people later. So this is something that's not in the pattern that I started doing. I just skip that whole slip stitch business and I just start single crocheting around. That's how I join. And they did not discontinue the Odyssey hooks. Are you serious? I had not heard that. Oh man. Well, good thing I got my collection. If anyone has any they don't want that they want to sell me. I would like to. I was at H&H, the trade show for the crafting industry, and in June, and they had people there that were like product development specialists, and so I listened to this talk on product development, and I would really love to have my own line of ergonomic hooks. I really do love the Odysseys, but now they're not going to be doing them anymore. And there are lots of other brands. I don't like most of them. They're not for me. I did not know the Odysseys were discontinued. I haven't had my nails done in a while because I needed to give them a break. They're all grown back in now, but I still have a couple snaggers. They're coming out with something else that is similar. Well, that's a shame. I'm probably not going to like it. I'm already mad. I like the weighted hook. I like the weight of the Odyssey. The pattern's on my website, bettymcknit.com. It's the 6-day star blanket. Oh, goodness. I have dinner in my Instant Pot too. So that was my plan when I went over to I just wanted to take a quick look at the ocean because I had not been outside all day. So I walked down there and I just happened to see my neighbor. So I think it was meant to be. But my plan was to go live until my dinner was done cooking. but I don't think it's going to be enough to get much done on this. I'm changing colors every 3 rounds on this one. And I'm doing the Ridgy Didge stripe. Ridge, it's just a row. I'm also trying something a little different where I'm going to turn the work to do that ridge row, ridge round. And that way the star blanket will have, it'll be reversible. It won't just have a right side and a wrong side. Hello, Andrew. Good to see you. You better go tag my sister and get her over here. You two like to play together. I've already done, somebody was complaining when I posted this video that they were hoping for a tutorial. I've already done tutorials on the star blanket, so I'm not going to do every row tutorial. I'm not good at that, and I don't like it. I'd really rather sit here and talk to people. I'm not really good at this whole make the whole pattern from the video thing. I am really good at writing patterns, so whatever you do, I would make sure you get a copy of the pattern. It's free on my site, and use the video to help you understand the pattern and improve your pattern reading skills while you're doing it. Thank you, Andrew. Hello, Lori. I wanted to do a repeat or maybe 2 repeats on this blanket, and then maybe get one of the other 2 blankets I'm going to started. I don't know. I don't know if I should really do that or if I should just stick with one at a time. What do y'all think? I have lots of the Ogos. I'm going to do like you and deconstruct them. Yeah. Well, I think you have. I don't like working off of the Ogo, and I wanted to control the color changes, and I don't know. I posted a video on my page about how I had a whole bunch of them. I think I might have had like 30 or 40 even, and then I found 6 more. This is an N. I believe it's an 8mm hook. Yeah, they're really, call them yarn turds. It's not a very nice thing to say, but I've said it a bunch, so I might as well just own it. Yeah, I don't like working off the turds, and I wanted to control the colors anyways, so I didn't want to do. I do love working with cake yarn. I love cake yarn, so I don't have anything against that. I wanted to control it for this one. And then the one that I did, it ended up with a big bullseye in the middle, and that's one thing I don't like about my cake yarn blankets that I've done, is that they have the bullseye. You should do more than one at a time. I love changing my projects up. All right. All right. It twisted my arm. I think I'm going to have enough yarn to do all 3 blankets plus a 4th one. And the 4th one, if I do have enough, I'm going to do a chaos, 6-day chaos blanket. The chaos blanket is, well, I've designed something called the chaos scarf that's in my membership community, the Betty McKnitiverse. And by the way, if you join and you decide you don't want to be in it, don't write to Mighty Networks and say, oh, I didn't know I was in it. Like, just come to me. Good grief. Oh, I forgot to mark my first stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to have to join with a slip and then slip again. Yeah, but I've got the Chaos Scarf over in the McKnitiverse, and if I have, if I still have scraps left over after making these 3 blankets, I'm going to do a Chaos Blanket. Hi, any suggestions what kind of yarn to use to make a scarf? My sis wants a chunky one. If you want a chunky one, then I would go with like Caron Tea Cakes or Caron Anniversary Cakes. Caron Anniversary Cakes is probably too much for a scarf, an actual scarf. Woolly's Thick and Quick is nice. I like Lion brand yarns a lot. They have a lot of their yarns in like multiple weights. Like they have a Woolly's that's a 4, and then they have a Woolly's Thick and Quick. Heartland, yeah, Lion brand Heartland is good. What are you making? It's a 6-day star blanket. I think Loops and Threads, which you can get at Michael's, has one called Charisma. I think that's a pretty decent one. Yeah, go and feel them. Go and check it out. That's like one of the best parts of being a knitter or crocheter. You get to go and pick out all that yarn. Now, if you're new to knitting and crochet, I would suggest getting a smooth yarn like this, like as opposed to like a blanket yarn or something with a lot of like loops or anything that's really super fuzzy. I wouldn't get anything really dark because that's going to be really hard to see. I would go with something lighter and smooth. A smooth yarn. Just keep it basic while you're starting. Keep it basic until you figure out what you're doing and what you like. Whoops. I have this pattern memorized, so I don't count these double crochets at this point, and I probably should have marked the top of my turning chain. Here we go, I'll mark it now. But when you come down with your double crochet, you should always land right at the between these 2 double crochets in on this last cluster coming down, and then you skip 2. And even though it does look like it's a little off center, it works out fine. Riley says these colors are beautiful. I'm new and I'm also doing a star blanket. That's wonderful. Welcome. Crochet is such a wonderful hobby. Oh, you have to go back on my page, and I posted a video with the whole explanation about these Ogos, the Caron Ogo Colorama. I had a bunch of them, and I cut them all up. I don't remember the names of them, and they've been discontinued, so you can't get them anymore anyways. But I would just pick up some acrylic yarn in a 5. This is a 5 weight, but it could be a 5 or a 6 chunky weight yarn, and in your favorite colors, and you're good. Red, purple, green, and blue for my grandpa. That's really sweet. Yeah, this there's a trend that goes around on Crochet Talk in September, and it's called Stash Bust September. So this is a project I'm doing with like stuff that I had here that I maybe overbought a little bit. And I'm using it up. And there's also like a work in progress, like a failed project in the mix here that I'm going to redo. That was actually the reason for buying all this yarn in the first place. And yeah, I'm just I'm doing a trend, I guess. What am I doing? I'm following a trend. I'm being a follower. Hi, Amy. Period queen. You guys, y'all kids. You're so fun over here on TikTok. I just love you. I love TikTok. You trendsetter, you. I know, right? Let's clean out the stash. Wasn't even my idea, Stash Bust September. I think they have prompts and stuff like the people that are really leading this trend have prompts for you to do something different every day, but I can never do things the way that I can never do things the way I'm told to do it. I can never follow the rules. I always have to come up with my own way. Hand pink waving face fuchsia tongue out. That's what it says, your emoji. Whatever emoji you did. I'll have to go over to YouTube and see what that thank you. Nan is saying love the color palette. Listen, one of the great things about stash busting is you can, like play with color. And this was, I don't want to say these weren't a choice, but they, I cut up a bunch of Ogos in their different colors and separated them into 3 different projects. I had one that I wanted, then I had a bunch of blues and greens and gray, and I put those together, and then all the rejects that were part of those self-striping skeins that I didn't match the other 2, or I didn't feel matched. I just did a real mix and match here. You should see I have 3 big bins of yarn from those. And then once I finished doing that last night, I found like 5 more. Hello, I'm so excited to finally catch a live. Betty, you have me up past my bedtime crocheting with you. Aww. Thank you. I'm so happy I was able to go live today. I wanted to go yesterday and I didn't. But I did spend a lot of time if you're going to make a scrappy star, I do think it's good to like untangle all the yarn and roll it up into balls or cake it up with a ball winder and, you know, divide it up into you know, your different colors that you want to use together. One thing I've seen people do this, and I think it's a cool idea, is tie all the yarns together and make like a big, you know, like a big ball of scraps. And I don't really tie knots. I would say if you are going to tie a knot, untie it and weave in the ends once you've worked, you know, like, well, I tied one here to put these two together, but I'm not going to leave it tied. So it's just a ball of two, you know, two different pieces of this gray yarn from two different Ogos, or sometimes some of the color is on the top of the turd and some of it's on the bottom, and you have to, you know, you end up with two pieces. So I just tied them together just so they would go through the ball winder together, but I'm not going to do a magic knot, and I'm not going to leave that knot in there. I'll show you what I do. I can go, well, this is too short. Okay, you need probably at least 4 or 5 inches. All right. Highly Elevated Mama says, I am doing a stash busting granny infinity rectangle. I'm on round 32. That's awesome. Okay, so this is my old yarn, and it's running out, and now I will have my new one that I want to join in. And so I'm just going to take this, I'm going to leave 4 to 5 inches of tail, 4 to 5 inches of tail here, and pull the new yarn through the last 2 loops of the stitch before I want to change. And then I'm going to take these 2 tails, these are the tails, and this is my working yarn, and I flip them up and over the working yarn and hold it to the back, okay, and then continue. All right, and now I have these 2, these are probably a little bit longer than they need to be, okay, we don't have to get like dramatic about it. And then I just continue and I leave them there until I'm done, and then I'll weave them in. I don't tie knots. I just don't like the way they look in my work, and when people tie those knots that they call magic, they magically come undone. And they, you know, snip the ends of the yarn close to the knot, and they say, oh, I've never had one come undone, and then they come undone. I just don't like the way knots look in my work, so I don't do magic knots or any other kind of knot. I just do the old weave them in, weave in of the ends. I mean, I've only done 2 rounds tonight, and this feels like it just got so big so fast. So here's where I had to join again, and I'm going to work over these guys. This is another end for just like 2 stitches. But working over the ends does not secure them either. So I will, at some point in, you know, when I'm all done, I'll weave those in. What you working on, little ghost? Up at night, past your bedtime? Hi, Amy Bryson. Both the Amy's are here. Amanda's here. The other thing about tying all of your yarns together in one big ball is that you may end up with mid-row color changes that you don't really like, or you might end up with a yarn in there that you don't like the way it looks or works up, and then, you know. It's mine and my fiance's favorite colors. Going to do 7 rounds, 1 for each year we've been together. Aww. Okay, and now I'm going to slip and join on the top of this chain 3 where I started, and it's been 3 rounds, so I'm going to fasten this color off and start a new one. And I'll show you how I do that. Just snip it. And then pull it through. And then I wrap it around the next stitch over and pull it through. So I do like kind of like an invisible join-ish. Hi, Wanda. Good to see you, my dear. And then I pull it through like 2 or 3 stitches, and then I'll work over them on the next round, and then I'll weave it in when it's all done. Okay, what is this name? I'm just going to wrap this around here. Man, I'm hungry. I can smell my food cooking. Okay, round 6. Where's Andrew? Is he gonna ding, ding, ding for me? Okay, that's the color I just did. I haven't done this color yet. I've got this color in here. And I've got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then where's that bright blue? Okay, so these are the colors I've done so far. All right, now let me just ask you all, what do you think about this? Throwing that in there. Kimothy says not a fan. Okay. We're not liking the bright green. So then that will just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just be these 4 colors and not this. The green, in my opinion, is too bright. All right. Amanda says she likes it. So, Amanda, you might like it because on YouTube it looks more mint green, and on TikTok it looks more lime green, and it's really more lime green. So the YouTube, that picture is like, the color is like watered down. Electric Banana is saying, I'm new here, but I'm not crazy about it. But if there were such a thing as an electric banana, this would be the color. I can't believe you don't like it. That's all I needed to hear. Electric Banana doesn't like it. We're not doing it. Okay. So then what should I do next? How about this one? Because I haven't done it yet. I was going to do it last time, but then it was too, like, I didn't want to put these two next to each other. Yeah. It's okay, because I'll do it. I'll save it for, like, the chaos blanket later. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to need more than one. All right, let's get rid of this. And then I have this. Oh, that's that. Okay. What I was really surprised about too with this was the inconsistency of the colors, even, you know, just pulling out two, you know, just between two different Ogos, like the colors were extremely inconsistent. All right, I'm doing something different on here that's not in the star blanket pattern. I'm going to be writing this up in a new pattern, but I'm doing the Ridgy Didge row. So this is the Ridgy Didge row, and I'm flipping it. Every time I do this row, I'm flipping the work. And I'm doing that so I'll have like well, for a couple different reasons. One, I don't like doing back post double crochet. I would have to do back post, and also because I wanted the blanket to have to be reversible. So normally when you do the 6-day star blanket, you just keep going around and around and you never flip it. So all the right side of your stitches are on one side and the wrong side is on the other side. So it has a right side and a wrong side. If I put my blanket on the bed with the wrong side up, my guests, my people are not going to be like, that looks weird. So I don't really think it's a huge deal, but if you do want a truly reversible blanket, you should flip it. Normally I don't, but for this one, the members of my membership community that helped me to develop this pattern, when they did their stars, they said they did not like to have this ridge on every round of 6. They felt like it was too much. So I thought, well, why don't we flip it then? And then it'll be on every other round on either side, and the blanket will be reversible. So that's just what I did. You don't have to do it, but you know, you don't have to flip it if you don't want to, and you don't have to do this, but this is what I do. Okay, and then the difference between this round and the regular round 6, what am I doing? I want to, I guess I could do that. Is that we work front post double crochet on the double crochets going up and down, and then the 5 in the peak we still do into the top of the stitch like normal. Okay, so when I fasten off, this is where I fastened off, then I always rotate my work and I join in a new valley, just because I don't want all the ends all together in one place. Okay, so this is my valley. This is the skip space where I skip 2. And now skip this one, and you're going to join with a standing front post double crochet to this stitch. Second one over. All right. If you're a lefty, it'll be that one, because you'll be going that way. All right. And then front post is you're working around the post of the stitch from the front. If it were back post, you would work around the post of the stitch from the back. Okay, so I'm going to do front post all the way up to the peak, front post double crochet. Ooh, this is pretty. Wow, there's a lot of people here. Thank you all so much for joining, and thanks for sharing the live and sending all the likes and all that stuff that y'all do. I love TikTok. I don't know why people then go over to YouTube and they're like, too much talking. This is how I do it. Thank you so much, Laurel. Thanks, Electric Banana, too. 3, 4, 5. Well, then we're back to doing front post. It's exactly the same. It's just front post. So it's the same as row 6. You would just normally work into the tops of the stitches. And then I have all the stitch counts for you in the pattern, but I am not a counter. Yeah, I do 5 in the peaks. But in the peak, you just do it into the top of the stitch and not front post. Hi, it's the old Caron Ogo Coloramas. I'm doing a stash bust and using up my Ogo graveyard. I still had a bunch of them from a project. There's a whole video on my page about it. They're discontinued now, but you can do any chunky acrylic that you like. It's 100% acrylic. And I'm using an 8mm hook. And I'm using the 6-day star blanket pattern, which is my personal design. Laurel says it looks nice and soft. It's yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's not particularly soft. It's just your basic acrylic, but it's not, it'll be a nice blanket. It'll be a nice, squishy, warm blanket. I like the way it feels. I guess it's soft. It's really squishy. I wish they would just give... I remember when they brought this yarn out in this Ogo configuration, and I was like, I don't know what this big turd is that they're giving us, but I like the yarn. Just give us the yarn. Okay, and then in the peak, you do 5, but you just do it into the top. Okay, and then this is what it looks like on the other side. I'll have to weave that in. You get that texture row. One of my members came up with this technique, and then I did a thing in my community where I asked people for suggestions to name it. Okay, you go down until there's one left, and then you skip the 2 in the bottom. How's everybody's weekend going? What did everyone do today? Thanks for the follow. Work? Hey, hey, Marie likes to crochet. How are you? You're at work? Did a little grocery shopping, and then my daughter and I watched the new live action version of The Little Mermaid. I haven't seen that yet. Is it good? Marie says, I brought my hats to weave in the ends. Oh man, you can crochet at work. That's awesome. Crochet is my work. You worked 16 hours tonight. Holy moly. Electric Banana says, I want to learn how to crochet. I mean, people learned how to crochet just to make the 6-day star blanket. All you have to know how to do is chain, single crochet, and double crochet. That's it. You've just been watching people on here. I love Haley's voice, and Melissa did a great job as Ursula. Never liked the Little Mermaid Disney movie, but this was good. Aw. I am not a big Disney person, I have to say. The next Disney movie they're making is Snow White. Cool. I didn't watch all those Disney movies growing up. And then my first job, like out of college, I was teaching dance at a studio. And of course, they always want to do Disney as their theme, as their recital theme. And I didn't know any of the songs. They were like, how do you not know this? I was like, I don't know. I didn't watch Disney movies growing up. I just watched this series with Sigourney Weaver called The Lost Flowers of Amy Hart, I think was the name of it. Has anyone watched that? It was really good. And how do you not love Sigourney Weaver? Like, she's good in everything she does. The Lost Flowers of Amy Hart. That's okay. Tell your coworker to shut up. I'm just kidding. Tell your coworker you're trying to listen to Betty McKnit. My fiance is making fun of me for being so excited about this live, but I'm going to bed, so that's okay. My sister's husband calls me Betty McBoring. Good night. You're not boring. Well, crochet is boring to people who don't like care about it. Good night, my dear. Well, don't get in trouble, Marie. I'm making the 6-day star blanket. Seems like a cause for divorce. I mean, I get it. Could you imagine your partner's like all excited about it live and it's like a lady crocheting? I love TikTok. I love my job. Starting to take a long time to get all the way around. What else is good to watch? What else have y'all been watching? Thank you. I love this like peacocky um, blue color. I love it. I am angry about Outlander. That is my favorite show. I love that show. I'm hooked on it. Why did they give us a whatever season we're on, season 6, or I don't even know. And then they only give us half of it. They only do half of it. And then they're like, "Oh, we're on hiatus." Well, then just call this one season and give us eight episodes, and then have the next season be the next 8 episodes. Don't say season whatever is 16 episodes and give us half of them, and then say you can have the other 8 in 2 years. Jeez. Oh, hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? Have you watched Bad Sisters yet? No, I have not. I'll try watching that one. Ted Lasso. I think I started watching that. Electric Banana. I don't know if it's really going to be 2 years, but it feels like it is 2 years between seasons to me. I mean, I could just cry. I love that show. Do you know how many times I have rewatched all the seasons too? Oh my God. Cosmo 1985. It's the 6-day star blanket. Been watching Only Murders in the Building. I tried to watch that when it first came out. And then another show that I like that's like just really dumb TV is that What We Do in the Shadows. I watched the rest of that last night. That's a funny show. It cracks me up. I want to read Outlander first before I start watching it. I tried reading it years ago, and I couldn't get into it. And I gave the books to my sister, and she was like, "Why did you give this away? This is the best thing ever." And she just got hooked on all the books, and she's read them all. And I guess she told me that they're ending, so I started talking to her about it because I got upset about something that happened on the show, on the season, this past season. I got upset. I was really depressed about something that happened. I was literally crying. I was so upset, and so I texted my sister, and she said, she was like, "Don't worry, it'll be okay." She's like, "Have you read the books?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, maybe read the books, but don't worry, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out." I was like, "Okay." But I was sad. Oh man, I was crying. It was a very sad scene, and one of the episodes this past season. Ella Rose says, "I just started that show. It's so funny," right? My daughter got me hooked on it. What We Do in the Shadows. It's hilarious. Hilarious, very irreverent. I love vampires too. It's such a weird thing. Oh no, wait, what am I doing? I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Next is the single crochet row. And remember I said the pattern says join with a slip stitch, chain up, and then single crochet in the same stitch. So that's what you're supposed to do, but this is what I do. I don't join, I don't chain up, I just start single crocheting. That's it. And then mark it so you know to stop when you get back to here. Okay, so now it's going to be a single crochet row. Hallelujah. I'm going to do it super fast because it's single crochet. And after that hard front post round, it's nice to just fly. I even started like listening to them on audiobooks, and I couldn't because I have okay, so on this row, this is round 7, it's 4 in the peak. 4 single crochet in the peak. 2, 3, 4, and straight single crochet all the way around. So see, I'm giving you the pattern. But really, just it would be easier just get the pattern off my website and follow it and do everything it says. Because I can't be trusted to do it properly on the video or slow down enough or say everything that you need to know. I can tell this is almost done. 4 in the peak. Hi, thanks for following. What the? Did I do it? I did it right. Okay. No, come on. I don't want to barf my own cake that I wound up. Okay, so this is me joining a new yarn. Just pull the new one through the last 2 loops of the last stitch. And then I take the tails and I put them up over my working yarn and I keep going. And then that holds them at the back of the work. They're not going to unravel. There's no knot needed. And then I will weave them in when I'm done. Right now, Stacy has a caseload of 9 or 10. Kathy has 7 little. Who needs bathroom assistance? 6 kinders. And I'm guessing, oh wow, okay. Sounds like a lot of work. Four in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, whatever that sound was. Thanks for following. FinFan 1971 Amanda says, I have recently watched Bloodline, The Bear, Better Call Saul, and have enjoyed all of them. The only one of those I haven't watched is Better Call Saul. Oops. What are you oopsing about, Riley? Did you make a mistake? Or did I? How much dew is this pattern? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I really liked the show with Sigourney Weaver. The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart, something like that. It was really good. I think it was on Netflix. Oh, and I like that show. It's Electric Banana. Pattern is free on my website, bettymcknit.com. Just Google 6-Day Star Blanket. The ad-free PDF of the pattern is $4, which you can buy there on my site. It's also on my TikTok store. And then I have a bundle of the Star, Superstar, and Supernova bundled together, all 3 patterns for $10. The Star has 7 points. It's the easiest. You can, even if you've never, you can learn how to crochet and make the Star blanket. Lots of people have. All you need to know how to do is chain, single crochet, and double crochet in the round. And I suggest taking the pattern, using the pattern, and then following along on YouTube with me. I have lots of tutorials. My YouTube's kind of a mess. I think it's kind of unorganized and hard to find stuff, but you'll find it. And then the Superstar, the Star, the Superstar, and the Supernova all start with the same 8 setup rounds. And then the Superstar has, the Star has 7 points equal size, 7 large points. It's the easiest, it's beginner friendly, and it's very repetitive. It's the setup rounds and then repeat until it's the size you want. And then the Superstar is 14 points of equal size. It is more round than star-shaped. It's like almost a round blanket. And then the Supernova is the most difficult, I think, of the 3 star blanket patterns, and I'm gonna do that one and try and do that one a little more slowly for you all. It has 7 large points and 7 small points. The Superstar and the Supernova are not hard. You will need your pattern reading skills, and yeah. Randa and Zoe says, do you have videos on your blanket in case you don't understand a row? I do, but they're not like step by step. They're like this, where I'm crocheting live and I'm explaining what I'm doing, and they're there to help you with the pattern. They don't really stand alone. Yeah. If you can read a pattern, you'll be fine. And then you can use the videos, are just really there to help. Hey, I see you're a crocheter, but was wondering if you were a knitter too. Yes, I am. I do knit also. I knit and crochet. So I'm back to round 2. Starts with a double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together, and then mark it, and then skip 2, 3, double crochet all the way to the peak. Ella Rose says, I crochet, but I struggle with knitting beyond the purl stitch. I have a course in my membership called Crocheters Learn to Knit. And the course is designed to take the skills that you have as a crocheter and kind of teach you how to knit using those skills. And you end up with a little baby hat at the end of it. You learn how to knit in the round. And you learn knitting and purling, knitting in the round. You learn I-cord. You learn decreases. You learn ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, and then you learn how to cast on. It's cool that you can do both. I'm just a knitter. I can't crochet for the life of me. My next course is going to be Knitters Learn Crochet, because y'all know that crochet is actually bigger than knitting now. I don't know that that was always the case. It probably was. But I was at the H+H trade show for the craft industry this past summer, and that was one of the trends that they said. I went to this talk about trends, and they said crochet is huge. It's even bigger than knitting, and people were like, "What? Even bigger than knitting?" And I was like, "Where have y'all been?" Yes, crochet is bigger than knitting. So I was there, like, I was crocheting in public. You know, when I was there, I had a project that I kept pulling out, and I was wearing crochet. So I had a lot of people come up to me and like, "Oh, we don't have crochet patterns in our knitting store. Do you have do you have crochet patterns? We really like this, what you're working on." And yeah, people were like, "Oh no, we better learn how to crochet." And there was not very much crochet at the conference, in the booths and stuff like that. So I was actually, because I was walking around wearing crochet shawls and stuff, I did, and working on a crochet blanket with Noro yarn, I got a lot of attention. People were like, "Oh, you're a crochet designer. We need more crochet." They're starting to figure it out. I know, right? Electric Banana says, "Duh." I know. It's like, where you been? You know, there's always been this kind of, I don't know if it's always, but within my awareness, this like knitters looking down on crochet. Like, crochet is like, the C word, you know, like I've heard knitters say like, "Don't say the C word," stuff like that. Like, come on, like, as if. So yeah, there was a time not too long ago where it was like knitting was it and crocheting wasn't cool. And then crochet just had like this, I don't know, revitalization, this resurgence. I would say maybe like 15 years ago. All of a sudden people were crocheting. I mean, I had the 6-day kid blanket in my Ravelry, and I didn't even know people were making it. I did not even know people were making it. And, you know, when it went viral, and I was like, "What the heck? Who's making this?" Crochet is not the word I think of as the C word. I know, right? Hi, Jenny. What's up, my friend? Crochet and knitting are two different skills. Yes, my blanket has a ridge. I'm flipping it to make the ridge. I'm flipping it every row 6, round 6, to do the ridge so that it'll have ridge on both sides. It'll be two-sided. That's so dramatic. I hate when people act that way about similar but different fields. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a whoops. You know, and then there are these people that are yarn snobs. You know, they would never knit or crochet with acrylic yarn. Well, if you're making a blanket, sometimes acrylic is the most practical choice. But recently, I was given yarn support from Noro, and they gave me enough yarn to make a blanket, and it's the best blanket I've ever made. The little red safety pin, where was that? That is a stitch marker, and I put it there. That's where I started tonight. So just wanted to kind of keep track of how much I had done. This pattern is called the 6-day star blanket. So people like to see how much did you do on day 1 and how much on day 2 and how much on day 3. So that was just where I ended my day 1 work. And then this is day 2. I'm not doing my days in a row though. I didn't crochet yesterday. And really the whole 6-day thing was just it TikTok Rebecca, so it really does take 6 days. The star one, yes. Any 6-day blanket that you're doing with chunky yarn, yes, you can do it in 6 days. It is just when people try to do it with a lighter weight yarn, or people want to make these ginormous blankets, which I think they're crazy sometimes, the king size blankets and stuff that people make. That is when it takes longer if you Becky, okay, hi Becky, if you upsize, or yeah, then sometimes it does take longer, but most of the 6-day patterns can be done in 6 days. But honestly, I call all the patterns that use these same 6 rows of stitches the 6-day whatever. It's the stitches. It really refers to the stitches. Some of them can be done in less than 6 days. I guess I just don't like it because it creates barriers when we should just be encouraging. Well, that's true, but it's snooty, people who, think that they are, certain people are better than other people. People who do this are better than people who do that. When really we're all, the same. Have you done the hurdle stitch before? I don't think so. I mostly make 6-day stuff. I don't get a lot of time to do other people's patterns. I mostly just I'm on here like creating content for my own, my own projects. Someday I will do everything that there is to do with the 6-day kid blanket stitches, and then I'll do somebody else's stuff. Thank you. Is the ridge turning in the pattern or video? Jenny, I wrote it up and put it in the McKnitiverse. Star, Superstar, and Supernova. But I showed it on this video and the one I did the other day. I explained what I'm doing. Yeah. So if you go into the McKnitiverse, it's in the pre-release pattern library. Star, Superstar, and Supernova. I think the way I wrote it, I was only changing colors at the row 6. But I think I'm going to change it to change every 3 rows. I just think the star looks better when you change colors more often. Oh, there goes my overhead camera. Let's see if it comes back on right away. Yes. I feel like I'm not even going to make a dent in all this yarn that I deconstructed with these blankets. Like, this is already, I mean, it's already, I don't know, it's already pretty large. When I get to the end of this round, I will, I'll measure it. But let's see, so far just with this round on this color change, I've already done both of those little cakes of this color. So that would have been, that's 2 Ogos worth of this peacock. Ooh, I hear my dinner. I hear my dinner being done. Woohoo! So I might take a little break after this. What time is it? 9:11. Oh man, I can keep going for a while. I might take a little break at the end of this round, and I might set this aside, get a little something to eat, and come back and start on, how about I start on this Superstar? If my dinner is even done. It might not even be done, but I'm really hungry. I put a pot roast in the Instant Pot. Thanks for the follow. I'm really hoping to hit 10,000 pretty soon. Oh, maybe I'll make noodles with it instead of potatoes. Sounds good. Give me another one. For lunch, we did Italian sausages with, oh, I'm afraid that I've given my family expectations of 2 home-cooked meals a day. I'm lucky if I do 2 home-cooked meals a week. Of course, I do make up like large batches of things and I eat it like several days in a row, but really today I just wanted to order food to come to the house, but there's no DoorDash or anything like that around here. We don't have enough people to make it work. 1, 2, 3. Becky, what is this hurdle stitch? What is it? I don't think I've ever heard of it. Freezer casseroles, make 2, freeze 1. Yep. I mean, it's just me, so I do a lot of, frozen, or I get the ground beef, and I cut it up into little, like, 1-person chunks and freeze them, and then fry them, thaw them out to make my tacos. And then sometimes I'll do like a big pork shoulder, and I'll just break all that meat down and put it in little containers in the freezer. I'll eat it for like 2 or 3 days, and then whatever's left, I'll break it down and stick it in the freezer. And then when I do something that big, because like a pork shoulder has a lot of meat on it, I don't season it too much. I keep it kind of bland, and then that way I can do, like, I had company over and they, for whatever reason, wanted to make ramen. And I was like, oh, I have some pork in the freezer. I'll crisp that up, And so I just pulled it out real quick and thawed it out. And I crisped it up with like sesame oil to put in the ramen. Can you believe this guy coming to stay with me was a professional chef, and he was just gonna put the ramen with the seasoning packet and nothing else. I was like, no. We need sesame oil, we need soy sauce, we're gonna put an egg in there. What are you doing? Come on now. I can't be teaching you how to do this. I'll mix it for meatloaf tomorrow and then use it in chilies and spaghetti. Man, I haven't made meatloaf in so long. One time my mom was staying with me and I had just had my son. He was a baby, and she called my dad on the phone and she was talking to him, and it was back in the day when we had those big phones, there's no cell phones. And we had those big phones that you could hear, the receiver. First of all, the person had to sit right there and talk because there was a cord. But you could hear them, you could hear the other side of the conversation. And I heard my dad say, I went to, wherever, someplace, and I had stuffed meatloaf and mashed potatoes. And I was like, oh, stuffed meatloaf and mashed potatoes. What do you mean stuffed? And they were like, oh, they put stuffing in it. And so then for the longest time, that was like a staple dinner that I would make, stuffed meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I've been meaning to make meatloaf, but I keep forgetting. Right? Like I forget about meatloaf. Whenever I go to a diner in New York, I always order meatloaf. Like whenever I see it on the menu, I'm like, oh, meatloaf. I'm going to get that. Thanks for following. Mad Libs. I remember Mad Libs. I love meatloaf. I don't know why some people say it's disgusting. I judge diners by how well they do a burger. Oh, I need to make a dessert casserole for my weekly wine night. Any suggestions? A dessert casserole. You got me on that one. Okay, here we go. Well, let's flip it over and check that ridge. Even though I'm going to keep working on this side that I'm on. Look at that. Look at it. Spectacular, is it not? Okay, I'm going to put another red one here. This is day 1, day 2. It's the 6-day star blanket. It's right in the title there. Okay. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just put that there. Where's my other one? I don't know where my other timer went. I'm going to leave TikTok going. It involves Twinkies, strawberries, and lots of whipped cream. Yum. Okay, I'm going to leave TikTok going, but I'm going to stop and restart YouTube and Facebook while I go check my dinner. And when I come back, I'm going to start my superstar. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Bye, YouTube and Facebook. I'll see you in a few.